Welcome to REST, which stands for Resiliency and Empowerment Seminar today. I am Susan Gans and I am your host. I am the founder and business strategist with Gans Strategic Solutions. I launched this show during these challenging times as a way of giving back to small businesses, nonprofits, and the community at large. We have conversations with leaders of such organizations to hear about their personal journeys as well as their professional journeys, particularly as it relates to being resilient and empowerment, learning about their respective organizations, and to shine a light on the great work that you're doing. I'm so delighted today to have two guests who are, quote, partners in crime, if you will, in good trouble. I have Valentina Janek and Gregg Cajuste. A little bit about each of them. So Valentina has held a variety of corporate, community, human resources, recruiting, and consulting positions in the financial, marketing, media, and public relations, publishing, technology, human resources, fundraising, and events industries. And if that wasn't enough, this is what she's doing now. She works as a marketing consultant, career life coach, midlife advocate, senior information specialist, and educates many individuals and organizations through her unique training as president and founder of the Long Island Breakfast Club and Long Island Breakfast Writers Club, and most recently, the developer of Long Island Breakfast Club talk radio show, and that is where Gregg comes into play. So a little bit about Gregg. He is a businessman, family man, and a true community man. He's a New Yorker, raised with grit, passion, and resilience, all running through his veins. Early in his career, he enrolled in the U.S. Marine Corps, where he finished top of his class and served our country. So thank you so much, Gregg, for your service. And with his business sense and out-of-the-box thinking, he became a self-made entrepreneur. He's built up and sold several successful businesses, including a dry cleaning business, a real estate company, and a sportswear line. And like Valentina, he just doesn't stop. So his latest venture is opening up G's nightclub in West Hempstead, and his vision is to have an exciting new club that brings the New York City feel right into the Long Island backyard. And he is Valentina's other half in the Long Island Breakfast Club radio show. So welcome to REST, both of you. I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's go back a little bit in your career. So Valentina, just tell us what drove you earlier in your career, and you've had so many different experiences, and later we'll talk about how you got together with Gregg. But let me hear what happened earlier in your career that sparked this drive to keep going.
Well, originally I was a stay-at-home mom working locally in a little old oil company down the block from where I lived. And then it came to me that my daughter was a teen and I needed to get back into the real world again. I had a mentor that helped me, and I went into the corporate world. And from there, I was with Compaq Computer, which was the first computer ever made in a diner. Stayed there for a very long time. I went to Houston a lot. They thought I was a little bit too fast, so I made them dizzy. But I had a great career there. And from there, downsized and went to CMP Media in a publishing company that was outrageous. And that's where I learned everything. Unfortunately, in 2008, technology crunch, boom, downsized. That was my former life.
So, there's a couple of things that struck me about your story of your earlier career. A couple of things. One, you decided that, hey, it was time for me to go back into the workplace. So you went into corporate and you had a mentor. And I'd love to hear how that mentor shaped you, and are there other mentors that you have now along the way?
Yes. Well, the original mentor, believe it or not, was a friend of mine's husband. He worked for a credit union, and he used to say, "You are too valuable to be sitting behind a desk selling kerosene and oil." And he pushed me and pushed me, and finally got me, trained to do an interview in corporate America. So, and I'm still friends with him today. And he has 5 children, and I'm very friendly with the family.
That's fantastic. And I'll get to sort of life after downsize because you've been downsized. And please put back on your camera because we want to see you.
Sorry, it's something cold. Okay. Now
It's
what
okay.
happened? Okay, there we go.
Okay,
Sorry.
you're back. All right, Greg, why don't you give us some insights into earlier in your career?
Well, I'm born and bred New Yorker. A little kid, always crazy about doing things and helping others. And that's pretty much what I've done primarily in my life. I was the type of child when we were playing baseball or football and I saw one of my neighbors walking down the block with groceries. I would stop in the midst of playing whatever game and I would run and grab their bags and walk them home. And my friends would be like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" I don't know. It's just something that I think I started really at such an early age, always wanting to help people. And growing up, I was a Cub Scout, Boy Scout, and but also I was a little mischief, a little crazy, a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I got myself involved with a lot of things. I didn't know which way to go, where I didn't specifically have a goal where, say, when most kids, when you grow up, you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. I just wanted to help people. I remember, I don't know if you remember this. This is going to show how old I am. Do you remember the shows like Dynasty and Dallas? And my
Yes.
mother used to love those shows. And I remember where I think it was JR and was it Bobby Ewing? They were always
Yes.
fighting. They were
Yes.
always fighting.
Yes.
And I remember telling my mom, and I said, "Mom, you know what?" I said, when I get older, I'm going to make a lot of money and I'm going to buy a big house and we're all going to live together. I was always, because I just hate the idea of everyone not getting along. And my mother used to say, "Listen, when you get older, you worry about yourself. You make sure you come first." And that's the only thing I don't really think I listened. I didn't take advice, from my mother, because till this day, I'm always worried about everybody else but myself. I could cure and help others, but I'm the one that's lost within myself. So as just growing up, I was involved with a lot of volunteering things, and when you were mentioning things that I enjoy to do, I'm very big with the Kiwanis Club. I don't know if you're familiar with Kiwanis. It's an organization that helps children and communities day by day. I'm the next lieutenant governor for Long Island South Central, and I volunteer.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I'm so excited. I can't even tell you. You should be a Kiwani. What town do you live in, by the way?
Plainview.
Okay, Bayview. Okay, well, I'm going to recruit you for. Plainview.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm definitely going to recruit you. You know that.
Okay.
But yeah. So I do a lot of work for them, and it's a very rewarding job. I mean, of course you don't get paid for it, but yeah, everything I do. I mean, I own a nightclub, and everything is networking. Everything is networking, helping one another. Like I said, I can help everyone, but I can't help myself. I have 4 beautiful children. One used to play for the NFL. The other one, she was in the Army. And I have two young ones. And if I could, I would have 30 kids without the woman, but that's not possible. The kids are easy. The women, that's the hard part. No offense. Yeah, so pretty much everything I've done has always been helping others. I've had multiple businesses. I like to start things from nothing, build them and sell them, and move on to the next project. And most of the time, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't sit there and really do that much homework, and it's just whatever I feel at the moment that I want to do, and it seemed to work. Worked itself out throughout the years, and yeah. And then Valentina came into my life, and she's a doll. I got to tell you, and there's a lot that I'm skipping, but I'm, just everything in a nutshell. Meeting her, it was just forget it. That really took me to the next level.
So that brings me to my next question, because the two of you have such a core value about giving back to the community. And Valentina, I know the Long Island Breakfast Club was sort of inspired by your downsized experiences and not letting that stop you. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the Long Island Breakfast Club and then how you got together with Greg?
Well, truthfully, I knew Greg from the neighborhood, and he had a different location. I used to stop in there once in a while, but I didn't really know him well. But a friend in the Breakfast Club knew him. So I saw him in the dry cleaners one day, and he was all dressed to kill. And I believe in men dressing to kill. I like a nice dressed man. So I went over to him and I said, I know you. He says, yeah, I think I know you. And I said, no, you know me. And I took out my card because I do that a lot. And I said to him, I want you on my show. He said, oh, okay. And he said, okay, when? I said, as soon as you can. I think you'd be a great, ad. I know what you do in the community because I knew about Kiwanis and I knew about all the great work he did because I'm pretty well bred on people in the community because that's what I believe in. And I said, okay, it'll cost you this much. And he said, it's going to cost me to be on your show? I said, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. I need to make this work. And I think you'd be a great asset. And the rest is history. And then he came on one more time. And I said, we make a good team. And we're up and down. But you know what? We have different beliefs. What we believe in each other and we believe in the community. And that's how it happened, believe it or not.
That's fantastic. So one random walk into the cleaners bringing you together.
Well, that's what life's about, isn't it? Where you are, people, places, things.
Yes, it's all about the connections we make and that human connection, which is so important, especially in these times. And I know it's a little bit more challenging now. We have to be more creative about how we make connection. And since you're on the radio, that's a great format to connect with people. So tell us a little bit more about the radio show. What is the mission, if you will, about the show, and what are you looking to achieve?
Well, do you know what?
I'll tell you, the mission for me is everything Long Island, everything good, everybody that can help everyone, businesses that can gain from it in, a way that it's going to be about everything. A child, a student, somebody that needs support, a business that needs more support, especially since this pandemic. And it's going to be manageable and it's going to be great. People that come on, Greg can tell you, they're so mesmerized by it.
I'm extremely, extremely positive. And negativity, of course, it surrounds us. But I'm a very big believer. If you think positive things are going to happen to you. I'm very, very big on karma. That's something I'm extremely big in. Sitting there while being part of the show, and it's such a great, I got to say, Kiwanis, it's a great organization. It's worldwide, which yes. I would love eventually for the Breakfast Club to be worldwide. I don't believe in just going halfway. I always believe when I set a goal that I set another goal because I pretty much always reach the goal that I'm looking for at the time, in the time being. And this show has really helped a lot of people. And that's the key thing. It's Long Island. Long Island is very, very important. Now, mind you, I was a kid raised in Harlem, Brooklyn, and not so great parts of the areas. But when I came to Long Island, it's really a different breed of people. I have to be honest with you. People are they do have a tendency to be nicer. Okay. And, especially living out here, I think, about a good 30 years, almost 30 years, I've met so many good people. And with this show, you talk about networking, you never realize who you know or this person. And Valentina, with all her friends and she goes around and she'll talk to people, I'll talk to people, and I'll show pictures or hand out a pamphlet. And she's like, they would say, oh, I know that woman, or vice versa. And it's really, I believe as you get older, the world becomes so much smaller.
Yes.
And just to be able to help other people, that's like, whether if you could help one or you help 100, you know, to me, helping that one is like almost helping 100. You know, when someone's really happy, and me, I'm very big on thank yous. You don't have to buy me a gift. You don't have to whatever, but thank you goes such a long way. And, you know, so this show has really brought quite a few people together. And I'm so thankful that I am a part of this. And that's because of Valentina. I mean, she's an amazing woman that, she's a handful, I have to say. She's a handful. She's my work wife. You know, she yells at me and tells me what to do, and it's only for the better, only for the better. And she's really taught me a lot. And you know, she's also another woman that's very positive. And you know what? It's never a dull moment with that woman. I have to be honest with you, never a dull moment.
So, you know, what I'm hearing from both of you, it's really about touching lives and being in appreciation for people and opportunities and experiences. And I love how you push each other to bring out the best in each other and the best in the community. That's really to be admired. I'd love to hear from you both about resilience, because really you two are the epitome of resilience. So what does it mean? How do you get inspired to just keep going when you could, you know, go a negative path, but you're going a positive path? So tell us about how you're being resilient.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, my mantra is you have to get up, get dressed, and show up every day. And I teach that to every person that I coach, and not quit, not give up. I personally, I'm not ashamed to say it, went on over 27 interviews when I was 50, from 50 to 60, and I was overqualified. And I teach people how to get in front of a president, because if you go in the back door, you're not getting a job. And that's what taught me. Every time I met a president, I met a relationship. No, that I didn't get the job, but I got a gig. And a gig economy is what we're in now. And that's what the Breakfast Club stands for. But not only gigs, we help businesses. So if a business wants to do something a little different, we say, let's do it wacky, because wacky sells. Because if you don't have a story, it's not going to happen. You need a story to make a business work. And that's where you get, you know, all the people behind you, and the Breakfast Club will get behind that business. And then we become this big marketing group.
You know,
that's what we do. It's simple.
Yeah.
For me, I think it was probably all the negativity that I encountered. I mean, I really had a pretty rough childhood. I've had, health-wise, I've been fighting. You know, I've had 3 heart attacks, 2 strokes.
Wow.
I used to be trached for 5 years. I had a hole in my throat. 52 surgeries.
Oh, my
defibrillator.
goodness.
And you know what? I feel good every day. You know, and I a lot of people, when I ran away from home when I was a young kid. You know, it was a little rough at that in the household. But I had a lot of people that always said to me that you never make anything of yourself. I was a straight A student. To me, C meant career, D meant diploma, but I couldn't bring those grades home. So I always, I wasn't too keen about school. I would, when I was in school, the only day I ever paid attention in school was on Thursday, because Thursday is review for Friday. So I would listen on Thursday, and on Friday I would get a 95, 90, whatever, and that was it. And, a lot of people, and it's true growing up, that it wasn't like today. You have so many different routes in finding how to become positive, or these whatever apps, programs, people, where things when we were younger weren't available. We didn't have access.
Yes.
To have people to really, you know what I mean? Like all these things with the computers, and I'm not computer, savvy. I mean, I am, but it's just where the kids now, I'm asking my younger kids, hey, how do you do this? And like, Dad, what are you doing? I remember when Facebook, I was asking my son wouldn't allow me to post unless he saw it first. Dad, you can't put 3 periods, and you can't use an exclamation mark or whatever. And I was like, I'm just putting a picture of you guys. He goes, no, Dad, you're going to take it the wrong way. I was like, so it was funny for years. I had to, he had to approve my, whatever I would post. But, it's I think a lot of people saying that I couldn't do something. And I think that's what really, really pushed me into helping others where, you know, like I said, nothing was ever handed to me. And, you know, and I'm kind of glad, and I'll tell you the truth, I wouldn't change anything. Even the bad that was in my life, I wouldn't change it, because that's what made me who I am today. And meeting people, meeting good people. And it is kind of hard. My door's always open for anyone. And one of my famous stories, I have to be honest with you, I had a friend years, they didn't have the media like they have today, but I had a friend that was very, very mentally ill, and he wanted to commit suicide, and he was on the Brooklyn Bridge, and he wouldn't move from the bridge unless he spoke to me. And I was young.
Wow.
And right then and there, I found that must be a calling, you know, just to really, really help people, where sometimes the things that I say can make a difference into someone, you know, going to certain extremes. So I think people that are more negative, see, like I feed off, I know it's sad to say, but, you know, I was telling my son when he started getting, you know, when he was in college, he went to Stanford, and I remember he would come out of the tunnel, and people are waiting to sign autographs and things like that. And he had a bad game, and he came out, and he says, "Dad," after he finished, you know, signing everything and taking pictures, he was saying, "Dad, you know what? I can't stand. I don't want to write, or I don't want to sign autographs anymore." And I said, "I'm going to tell you something." I said, "You inspire people just because you have a good game or a bad game." And I said, "When you get older, you're going to wish that someone asked for your autograph, you know." And I said, because you don't realize the things that you do, that it makes such a big difference, you know. But yeah, I think that's what pretty much helped me and inspired me to really do better, you know.
Yes. What I get from your both of your stories. So first of all, Valentina, I love your mantra about get up, get dressed, and show up. That those are talk about powerful words. Those are very, very powerful words. I also love what you said about the branding of a business and needing a story and being authentically, you know, the people behind the business. And Greg, I love your story around, you know, you're turning can'ts into do's. Like all you need is somebody to say you can't, and you're like, oh yeah, I'll show you. I'll do it. And I think that's also like Valentina. Valentina doesn't know any bounds. She goes for it as well. Just in wrapping up, before we wrap up, I want to hear from you both. What would you like people to remember, be inspired by from our conversation today?
Well, my inspiration really came from the people that I worked with in media way back when I watched them. I was in a bullpen with 20 reporters. Back then, I wasn't allowed to do what I wanted to. 20 years later, I'm doing what I wanted to do then. And the intelligent people of the reporter, they're hard to work with until you get to know them. But let me tell you, they have a Rolodex in their brain like you can't believe. And if you watch them, you learn. And I never lost it. And that's really what's taken me to today, to learn how to do so many different things. And I'm actually writing a column now in a magazine as well.
That's awesome. Congratulations on that. And Greg, what about you? What would you like people to remember from our conversation today?
Well, you know, and I wish I could have met you in person, because everyone knows when you meet me, I'm a hugger. I'm a very big hugger. I love hugs. And I think also that because that also stems in childhood, well, we didn't get that kind of affection. You know, you kiss, you know, they always say French and Italian, people say, oh, you guys are affectionate. And you guys kiss when you see each other, you know, on both sides. I says, no. I said, people don't seem to understand that. When you do that, that's just a sign of respect. That doesn't mean love, okay? And for me, I believe that everybody needs love. Now, I'm trying to start this nonprofit, and it's Hugs for the World. And it's all about giving back and to help people with mental illness. And when it comes to meeting me, I got to tell you, I'm 6'4", I'm 260. And when you see me, the first thing that people shake hands, I hug men, I hug women. You know, it doesn't matter. And you're not going to forget my hug. But when I hug out of love and sincerity. It's,
yes.
So everybody knows, oh, that's Greg, the hugger. Greg with 2 G's, he's the hugger. You know, and that's what everybody remembers me by, I'll be honest with you. You know, But everything is always about, just remember, you definitely have to, I mean, everyone's always heard this. You have to really love yourself first.
Yes.
And it took a long time for me to love myself. It really, really did. And now I finally realized that, hey, at this age, I really do love myself, but I love people more. So if there's anything, look into the mirror, wake up in the morning, brush your teeth, and, there's nothing you can't do. There's nothing you cannot do. Change the can'ts into do's. And that's exactly it. And Valentina has me working on writing a book, and I'm saying to myself, who wants to listen to my story? But and the name of the book is I Can't Say No, because I never say no. So if anybody wants anything, I'm always there, and I try really, really hard to always follow through and to complete whatever I promise that I'm going to do in life. So if there's anything, just remember, you are loved, and there's somebody out there for you, and it doesn't have to necessarily mean intimate, but there are. I mean, people do listen, and people really care, and just don't ever give up. And if so, just call a hotline or call me. I'll always answer. I'm always there. So that's pretty much it.
So I love both of your stories, and I really appreciate the self-love and the self-care, because that really is so important, especially going through the crisis that we're going through now, is to have that strength and to have that attitude to keep going. So appreciate all your comments today. And so before we close out, I want to make sure that people can find the two of you. So Valentina, what are the best ways for people to find you?
Well, they can find me at valentinajanek.com, my name. They can find me at the Long Island Breakfast Club.org, and on Instagram, Tina Valentina Official.
Love it. So that's valentinajanek.com and longislandbreakfastclub.org, and Tina Valentina Official on Instagram. Yeah. And what about you, Greg? How can people find you?
You can reach me on Facebook, Greg, Gregg, 2 G's. Last name is Cajuste. That's on Facebook. Or you could reach me at the Long Island Breakfast Club show also, or G's, G, capital G apostrophe S, G's in West Hempstead, G's nightclub in West Hempstead. And yeah, you could, or you could call me, 516-924-1636. My phone is open to everyone. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Again, that's Greg and Cajuste and Facebook, Long Island Breakfast Club radio show, and G's in West Hempstead is another way to find Greg. Well, the two of you, thank you so much for your time today, for your very inspiring and powerful words. And to our audience, so appreciate you tuning in, and until the next conversation.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.